in Mount Pleasant at the intersection of I-30.
Good evening, everyone. I'm CBS19 Chief Meteorologist Brett Anthony with this weather impact alert update as we head into this Thursday night. We're entering phase 3 of this storm, meaning that we're going to continue to see heavy rain, and then overnight there is a chance that we could see a transition to a brief burst of snow. Plus, in addition to what we're seeing in terms of the rainfall, now we're getting reports of things beginning to ice up. Just read on Van Zandt County's Facebook page, they're seeing some slick spots developing. Shreveport, the National Weather Service office, getting some freezing rain. Also on that post from the National Weather Service office, someone in Gilmer, saying that it was also getting icy there. When you look at the extent of this winter storm warning, winter weather advisory, would you believe that it covers 1,900 miles from El Paso all the way up into the eastern parts of Virginia with either a winter weather advisory or a winter storm warning? And by the way, I want to welcome everyone who's watching either on our Facebook page, CBS19, or on our YouTube channel, or also on the CBS19 Plus streaming app. Watching all three of those varieties, best way to stay connected. I will be monitoring the Facebook page. If there's any questions that anybody has, we'll try to answer those for you. That we do know that as we head into the overnight hours, that there is a slight risk, I'll call it a slight risk, of seeing some icing that could cause the roadways to become slick. All right, so let's jump right in here. I want to show you, I've got the watches and warnings advisories up, but now let's go to CBS19 radar. All right, so a lot of colors on the radar tonight. Heavy rainfall just moved through Tyler. In some of these heavier bands of rain, there could be just a little bit of sleet, maybe a few sleet pellets here and there. That's moving into Longview right now. Nacogdoches, a little area of pink showing up. Remember, I think Nacogdoches County, southern parts of Henderson County, or Rusk County, I should say, were in the winter weather advisory. Nacogdoches County wasn't, but still possible to see a couple of sleet pellets. Out toward Palestine, over toward Athens, sleet pellets may be mixing with a little bit of snow there. We've heard reports of some slicker streets around parts of Anderson County, including in the city of Palestine. And then out to the west, it's just been snowing most of the day in Dallas. All right, we're going up north. This is Interstate 30. There's Dangerfield, there's Naples, there's Maple Springs, Mount Vernon, Pittsburgh, Brumley, and then we've got Mount Pleasant, where we continue to see this mix of sleet, what would appear to be snow, but for the most part, it's been a mixture of sleet and rain. We've got CBS 19 reporter Robert De La Garza up in Mount Pleasant tonight. And Robert, not the greatest night to be standing outside in a cold, rainy night. What's going on in Mount Pleasant right now?
Yeah, you can say that again, Brett. I mean, it did kind of calm down here. As you can see, I'm in Mount Pleasant off the intersection of Highway 271 and Interstate 30. And if you kind of look over to my shoulder here, I mean, the roadways are pretty calm right now. I mean, it seems like the public is taking that advice and staying off the roadways. On our way to this spot, we didn't see a lot of vehicles, but we did see some business starting to close up early. And we do know that Mount Pleasant ISD is closed for school tomorrow. They're not going to have any classes for those kiddos. But there was more of a rain mixture versus that sleet. But as we're standing here now, right now, it's more of that sleet pebbles that you say is kind of hitting me in the face right now. But the roadways are still pretty wet. Officials say that they are going to have some crews for the Mount Pleasant Fire Department. Officials say they're going to have some crews overnight to kind of combat this weather. But overall, I mean, you can see a car going down right here, right now. The rain it's been raining a little slick, but not like that icy mixture that we've been seeing throughout the day, kind of creating like slushes on the roadway. But right now, mostly rain. It's starting to pick up as of now. It wasn't like this when we got to this location, but it just started to pick up. Lovely. But overall, the roadways are pretty clear, like we said. Not a lot of vehicles out here, so we're going to continue to monitor this weather out here in Mount Pleasant this evening and into the morning, as we expect more snow and possibly this sleet mixture into the early hours tomorrow. But overall, pretty calm right now. Stay off the roadways if you don't really need to go anywhere. Stay home, eat some soup, whatever it does to kind of cool you down or warm you up, I guess that is. But for now, back to you, Brett.
All right, Robert DeLaGarza reporting in Mount Pleasant, a very cold and just unpleasant-looking Mount Pleasant right now. I just got to, let's see, Kristen Moore is asking, how is Tyler? I'll answer that in just a question. And James Austin Bradshaw wants to know, what is Van going to get? Also have Brittany watching. So hi, Brittany. We got Aaron Nation also watching. We got Mary watching. We've got Melanie also checking in. Tiffany Boyd Johnson also is watching. And Amber Whitlow. So, all right, so let's talk about Tyler for the rest of the night. Still this chance for some heavy rainfall, and still a chance to see some sleet pellets from time to time. You can see Tyler right now getting a moderate rain. Lindale also seeing that moderate rain, and Big Sandy getting rain. Mineola's had reports of some sleet. Let me just, whoops, we got to go the other direction for this. Anyway, let me go back to the other graphic. We look outside over here toward Van, between Athens, Canton, right in the Van area. You can see a little bit of sleet possible overnight tonight. This is what I'm watching, this band of snow back here on the backside of the storm. As that's colder air, and there's colder air aloft. There's a lot of warm air aloft, and that's the reason we've seen a lot of rain. But there's colder air in this portion of the storm. So as this all sort of rotates through the area, that colder air will also rotate into East Texas, and so there's still a chance overnight, probably 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, where we get this burst or transition to a little bit of snow. So there's still a chance to see a little bit of snow. Probably, if we had to draw a line, I'd say it's most likely between Athens to about Henderson up towards Shreveport, anywhere north of that line. And not much. If you're going to see accumulating snowfall, it's probably going to be north of that line, north of Gilmer up toward Mount Pleasant. So it's just a nasty cold rain for sure. Again, Nacogdoches seeing a little bit of that pink. What I want to do here, I'm going to stop the radar. I'll put that on pause for us, run that out to the end of it, and then I want to show you something. So sometimes if we're tracking severe weather, we can look at what we call our debris tracker, where it is looking at the different shapes of what's inside the radar or the precipitation particles. So sometimes if everything's rain, it returns as one color. If there is debris flying, it will return as a different color. If it's a different shape, it will do the same thing. So I'm going to use that. You'll see that it says debris tracker. But what I'm looking at here, I'm looking for the difference between raindrops, snowflakes, ice pellets. And so when we look at this circle, this is, boy, textbook when it comes to melting precipitation within a layer. All right, so from Shreveport out here to where this area and this color changes, you're talking about the radar beam probably being 2,000 or 3,000 feet in the air when it reaches those areas. So at 2,000 or 3,000 feet, it's likely snowing, right? But as that precipitation falls through slightly warmer air, it begins to melt. And so even though when I go back to radar, it looks like Mount Pleasant's getting all snow, it's actually melting before it makes it down to the surface, and so it's coming out as rain and or sleet. So some of those snowflakes are melting. They're trying to refreeze in that coldest, lowest layer, probably 1,000, 1,500 feet before they make it to the surface. Just can't quite refreeze, and they end up falling as tiny little sleet pellets or even falling as raindrops. So that's when we look at the radar, it looks like there's tons of snow out there, or should be tons of snow and sleet. But in reality, what we end up seeing is just this mix of rain and snow. But again, this has colder air on the backside of that in Dallas, so eventually that should move over. All right, right now, traffic moving very slowly outside the CBS19 studio. I just went out a little bit ago. We have an infrared thermometer, and I was shooting some of the parking lot and the streets. We're still running about 36 or 37 degrees on the street temperatures. That's really good news. That means most streets are going to be okay overnight. Bridges, overpasses, because they have exposed undersides, and if the temperature drops to 32, they can chill from the bottom and they can chill from the top. And so the temperatures of those bridge decks, those overpasses, drops faster and closer to the air temperature than, say, a road that is on top of ground. That stays sort of insulated. 34 degrees right now outside, east-northeast winds 8 miles an hour. Dew point's a key here, 31. At this point, we could drop no farther than 31 overnight, but 31 would be enough for things to freeze. So What about the roads tonight? Well, I don't have it in red. I have it sort of in a cautionary mode where we have these areas of heavy rain mixing with some sleet and light snow after midnight. Most of the roads are likely going to be just wet. But again, bridge, overpass, untreated roadway, someplace that maybe wasn't exposed to any sunshine, that could get a little bit icy. So there's going to be isolated icy spots. Friday morning, light snow showers ending most likely by 6 or 7 o'clock. Isolated slick spots developing, but again, most roads are fine. So again, caution. In the afternoon, we're above freezing, so anything that was frozen should be melted. And I think we're good. We're green. We're good to go, and the roads should be fine across most of East Texas again tomorrow afternoon. Right now, concerns would be in Jefferson, Marshall, Carthage Center, where the temperature's right at freezing. Nacogdoches also at freezing, and that's why I think our radar return came back as a little bit of sleet or a mix. Mineola at 32. Tyler's been hanging on above freezing all day long, so just haven't seen any snow here. Sulphur Springs had snow, 32. Mount Pleasant just not quite cold enough to turn that all over to snow. The center of the low pressure area is tracking right along the Texas coast. If this was about 50 miles farther south, colder air would have shifted about 50 miles farther south, and we would have been in snow all day. So really, this was all dependent on the track of that low pressure system. And as we found out, it just kind of hugged the coastline instead of moving a little off to the south. All right, before I go through the rest of the radar map, let's say hello to some more viewers here tonight. Riley wants to know anything for Frankston. Frankston has a chance to see just a little bit of some light snow overnight. Harrison County, right now, Harrison County, you're seeing a little bit of a mix of sleet and maybe some freezing rain. The temperature in Marshall right now is at 32 degrees. So you got to keep an eye on some of those areas, especially some, let's say, at the bottom of a hillside or something like that where colder air drains down. Will it snow in Palestine in the AM hours? BB, maybe just a little bit, but if it does, it's not going to be a whole lot. It would be less than a ½ inch of snowfall in Palestine for the night. So, yeah, just not going to be much in the way as we've spent a lot of the moisture already in the form of rainfall. And let's see, we've also got Miranda Salazar saying KYTX CBS19 is the best. We love you guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And what about Tyler? They've not closed schools yet, of course. All right, that's funny. That's what Nikki says. Anyway, yeah, Tyler right now, the streets, as I showed you, were just wet, so it may not end up being too bad. And in Tyler, I think there's less than a ½ inch of any type of precipitation or snowfall that we get for the rest of the night. All right, interesting to look at the big picture here because the upper level storm itself is spinning over southwestern Oklahoma, and then that surface low here is just near Houston. And so look how big this storm is. This storm is spreading snow all the way up to Louisville, Kentucky, St. Louis, Missouri, all the way back to Kansas City, back toward Wichita, and then on the back side of that, we're wrapping in this warm, moist Pacific air that's coming in across Texas, and that's what supplied most of the moisture for us today. So we do have a weather impact alert for tomorrow morning, 40% chance for morning snow showers, then mostly sunny. Saturday up to 52, Sunday mostly sunny, up to 53 degrees. Here's future skycast. This just came in. This data is just about an hour old. Now notice that it has, as we get closer to 9 o'clock, a blanket or a mix of freezing rain, sleet, and snow, and that's reflected in the temperatures that are in the lower 30s with even a little bit of snow here. So this may end up being all rain or a mix of all three, rain, sleet, and snow. But as we head through the overnight hours, I want you to keep an eye right here. This is what we call the calm head of the storm, and that's where the colder air is out in Dallas. So from Mount Pleasant to Mineola to Canton, Emory up towards Sulphur Springs, that area there, if we're going to see accumulating snowfall, it's going to be in that area as that swings out to the east. Notice at 3 o'clock in the morning, we have a strip of snow from Linden down to Gilmer just to about Tyler, and that moves on away with snow flurries through daybreak tomorrow into about 8 or 9 o'clock. You got little snow showers, snow flurries, also persisting throughout the afternoon, a high temperature just about 39 degrees, so a cold day. Now this is going to be interesting. I don't think this is going to materialize. I think this is showing up because the radar just showed us a little freezing rain there. It'd be really interesting to see if Henderson or Nacogdoches or Jacksonville got any freezing rain at all. And if you do, please let me know. I'd love to be able to verify this. I just don't know that that's really going to happen. I think it's just picking up on radar is showing and then sort of reflecting that. All right, but I do think future snowfall is very possible here. Again, less than a ½ inch Tyler and Longview and Jefferson, maybe an inch at Gilmer up toward Mount Pleasant and Sulphur Springs once we get that transition over to snow to occur. And again, that's likely going to happen 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. What we've seen so far is about a ½ inch of rainfall, and we're going to add another ½ inch to maybe 3/4 of an inch through Friday morning. Or total liquid precipitation. Now, San Augustine, Center, and Nacogdoches, that's all rain. Not much of a chance to see anything else there. As for rainfall itself, tomorrow is about a 40% chance, and then we are dry for the rest of the week and through the weekend. All right, so tonight, rain mixing with snow overnight, north-northeast winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour. The chance it rains and or snows is 100%, but we are going to go with that rain to snow mix and a low around 32. Then tomorrow, flurries or snow showers possible early, otherwise cloudy, breezy north-northwest winds 10 to 20 miles an hour, and temperatures warming up close to 40 degrees with a northwest wind averaged out at about 13 miles an hour. Here's your Bill Scott and White Texas Spine and Joint Hospital 10-day forecast. 52 after the cold day tomorrow, 53 on Sunday. I do want to mention Saturday morning it could drop to 26. If it does, we could have some hard freezing around the area. Veronica wants to know about Longview going to be tonight. Longview is, like the rest of us, getting a lot of rain, maybe just a quick turnover to snow, but not much in the way of accumulation. I would, however, watch the bridges and overpasses in Gregg County. Again, Gregg County, likely the streets are just going to be wet, but it's those bridges and overpasses that we have to be concerned about. Will Athens get snow? Caleb, I think a little bit, but not a lot, probably a ½ inch or less. And again, the surface temperatures tonight are sitting about 36 or 37, so it's going to be really tough for anything to stick to the ground. So, you know, if you see it, it's going to be on a grassy area, and by, say, mid-morning, 9 o'clock, it will probably melt and be gone. All right, so that's a look at the 10-day forecast. Certainly, if anything survived tomorrow in terms of snowfall, it'd be gone by the weekend as we warm up to 53 on Sunday, and we don't drop below freezing Sunday afternoon. All right, if you found this video helpful, you can like it, you can share it on our Facebook page. You can also like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and of course, keep watching CBS 19 Plus. You can also click the link and share it with your friends and neighbors to give them the latest information on our weather situation here tonight. We're going to go back to the Weather Center, work on the forecast some more, and have that for you coming up tonight on CBS 19 News at 10 o'clock. Hope to see you then.